Have you ever wondered if the monsters from ancient myths were more than just stories? Could the legends of massive sea beasts, flying terrors, and strange hybrids have been inspired by creatures that really existed? Today, we're diving deep into the world of mythology to explore 10 mythical creatures that might have actually roamed the earth. Some might surprise you, and some might leave you questioning everything you know about history. 1. Kraken, the monster of the deep. Imagine being a sailor in the 1700s, navigating uncharted seas when suddenly, massive tentacles emerge from the depths, dragging your ship into the abyss. This horrifying scenario describes the Kraken, a legendary sea monster from Norse mythology. But was it just an exaggeration, or could it have been real? In modern times, scientists have discovered the Architeuthis ducks, or giant squid, which can grow up to 43 feet long. But here's where it gets more intriguing. Some believe there could be undiscovered species in the ocean even larger than the giant squid. After all, over 80% of our ocean remains unexplored. It's easy to imagine how sailors, encountering one of these massive creatures, might have exaggerated their tales into the terrifying Kraken we know today. And yet, as deep-sea expeditions continue to reveal new species, we can't help but wonder, could something even larger still be out there, lurking in the darkness? 2. Leviathan, a biblical nightmare. The Leviathan is one of the most terrifying creatures in ancient mythology, described in the Bible as a giant sea serpent so powerful that only God could defeat it. But was it purely symbolic, or did it have roots in reality? Some scientists link the Leviathan to prehistoric marine reptiles like the Mosasaurus, which lived over 66 million years ago. These massive predators, capable of growing up to 50 feet long, dominated the oceans of the late Cretaceous period. Their fossils, discovered centuries later, might have inspired depictions of sea monsters in ancient texts. Others suggest the Leviathan could have been based on sightings of enormous whales or crocodiles. And with massive animals like sperm whales still diving to extreme depths, it's not far-fetched to think ancient sailors might have encountered something truly monstrous. Was the Leviathan just a mythological metaphor, or was it humanity's way of interpreting fossil evidence of a long-extinct predator? 3. Thunderbird, the sky's greatest predator. Native American legends speak of the thunderbird, a massive bird said to control the skies and summon storms. Its wings were so large they could blot out the sun, and its cry could cause thunder. But could this creature have been more than just a legend? Fossil evidence shows that giant prehistoric birds, known as teratorns, once roamed the skies. These birds had wingspans reaching up to 20 feet, roughly the size of a small airplane. While these creatures went extinct thousands of years ago, their immense size and power could have easily inspired the stories of the thunderbird. Even today, there are reports of unusually large bird sightings in remote parts of North America. Could these sightings be remnants of a forgotten species, or perhaps modern misinterpretations of ancient legends? A bird powerful enough to summon storms might sound like fantasy, but when you imagine a teratorn soaring above a thundercloud, it doesn't seem so impossible. 4. Roc, the elephant-eating giant bird. The roc is a mythical bird from Arabian Nights, described as so large it could carry off elephants in its talons. It's an outrageous claim, but what if there's a kernel of truth to it? In Madagascar, scientists have discovered the remains of the Epeornis, or elephant bird. While flightless, this bird stood up to 10 feet tall and weighed over 1,000 pounds. It's possible that stories of these giant birds, passed along ancient trade routes, became exaggerated over time. Some researchers even speculate that fossils of extinct flying birds, combined with early sailors' imaginations, may have inspired tales of the roc. Could these stories have originated from real encounters with oversized birds? It's a reminder of how myths grow from small truths, transforming creatures into legends as they're passed down through generations. 5. Cyclops, the one-eyed giant. The Cyclops is one of Greek mythology's most famous creatures, a terrifying giant with a single eye in the center of its forehead. But could this legendary being have been inspired by something real? The answer might lie in the skulls of dwarf elephants, which ancient Greeks could have encountered on Mediterranean islands. These skulls have large central openings where the trunk connects, easily mistaken for a giant eye socket by someone unfamiliar with elephant anatomy. This theory gains credibility when you consider that ancient cultures often used fossilized remains to explain natural phenomena they didn't understand. Some historians also suggest the Cyclops myth could have been influenced by encounters with Neanderthals or other early hominins. Could the Cyclops be a distorted memory of a time when humans shared the earth with other species? 6. Chupacabra, the goat sucker. The chupacabra is a modern myth, originating in Latin America. It's described as a blood-sucking creature that preys on livestock, leaving mysterious puncture wounds on its victims. But is there any truth to this sinister legend? Many alleged chupacabra sightings have turned out to be coyotes suffering from mange, a skin disease that makes them appear hairless and sickly. However, there are still unexplained cases involving animals drained of blood, leading some to speculate about genetic mutations, or even secret experiments. Could the chupacabra be a real, undiscovered species? Or is it simply a product of misidentification and superstition? Either way, the mystery continues to fuel curiosity, with new sightings reported every year. 7. Dragons, the universal legend. Dragons are perhaps the most universally recognized mythical creatures, appearing in folklore across Europe, Asia, and beyond. How could so many different societies independently imagine such similar creatures? One compelling theory is that dragons were inspired by dinosaur fossils. In ancient China, for instance, fossilized bones were often mistaken for the remains of dragons, reinforcing their cultural significance. Others suggest dragons were inspired by large reptiles like crocodiles or Komodo dragons, exaggerated into legendary proportions. Some even theorize that volcanic eruptions, spitting fire and smoke, could have inspired the concept of fire-breathing dragons. Could the myth of the dragon be humanity's way of remembering a distant past when the Earth was ruled by giant reptiles? 8. Griffin, the fossil hybrid. The griffin, a creature with the body of a lion and the head of an eagle, is one of mythology's most iconic hybrids. But could it have been based on something real? In Central Asia, ancient miners often discovered fossils of the Protoceratops, a dinosaur with a beak-like face and 4 legs. These fossils bear a striking resemblance to the mythical griffin, leading some to believe they may have inspired its creation. This highlights how ancient people often interpreted fossil discoveries through the lens of their own myths, transforming natural history into supernatural stories. 9. Mermaids, creatures of the sea. The idea of mermaids, half-human, half-fish beings, has captured imaginations for centuries. But could these legendary creatures have been inspired by real-life encounters? One popular theory is that early sailors mistook manatees or dugongs for mermaids, particularly after months at sea with poor visibility and deteriorating health. But here's a thought-provoking twist. What if the idea of mermaids didn't come from mistaken sightings, but from ancient stories of unknown aquatic species that have since gone extinct? Could these tales be echoes of a forgotten chapter of Earth's history? 10. Bigfoot, Yeti, the missing link? Bigfoot and the Yeti are among the most controversial cryptids. Could they be hoaxes, or do they represent a relic of Earth's prehistoric past? Some scientists suggest a connection to Gigantopithecus, a massive ape that lived in Southeast Asia over 300,000 years ago. Fossils indicate it was up to 10 feet tall, making it a plausible candidate for Bigfoot or Yeti legends. Modern sightings, though often dismissed as hoaxes, continue to raise questions. Could a small population of these creatures still exist, hidden in remote regions of the world? Or is the legend of Bigfoot simply our imagination running wild? These creatures blur the line between myth and reality, reminding us how history and imagination intertwine. Could these legends hold clues to our past, or are they simply humanity's love for storytelling? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Ancient Chronicles for more deep dives into the unknown.